Hello one and all, and welcome to Behind the Glass, your weekly automotive podcast hosted by two rather uninformed enthusiasts.
No.
I'm Sam from the YouTube channel Seen Through Glass.
I'm Tony from Goodwood Car Sales.
And you can watch us each week. We hope you enjoy the episode. Lewis! How much can we talk about this? Like, I don't want it to be a whole episode celebrating the GOAT.
Yeah.
But I don't know, we're going to celebrate him a bit.
I mean, we got to talk about it.
We spent most of last week talking about F1.
Yeah. Well,
season's really kicking off.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was good that you was there on the weekend because I was getting like proper good updates as well.
Live updates from the track.
Live updates from the pit lane. And then I was relating back to you what the TV was saying. So I was saying to Sam, the rain's coming, and he went, yep, about 5 minutes. It's here. It's raining in the paddock.
Because when you attend the F1, it's so hard to keep up with strategy.
Yeah.
Because obviously, you know, there is commentary going out around the circuit. It's not always easy to hear. Sometimes they don't have the full picture. So it's really useful to have someone at home who's getting all the in-depth commentary from Sky F1 or wherever it might be. It's like, okay, why is he pitting now? Like, what did they say happened there? So you were giving me that info and I was giving you the clouds are rolling in. It's getting windier.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, let's bring you up to speed. Just in case you missed it, Lewis Hamilton returned to the top step of the Formula One podium for the first time in something like 2.5 years.
945 days, mate.
Yeah, that is a bit wild. Well, it's only wild because, well, it was only ever about 7 or 8 days between his victories.
Normally.
Yeah. So it feels like a long time. But obviously those diehard Lewis Hamilton fans that were there back in the bleak years of 2010, 2011, 2012, we remember what it's like to actually, to be fair, we never had to wait that long.
He's never gone. He said he's never in his career. This has been the hardest moment of his career from 2021 to now.
The stat I always liked was that up until 2022, he'd won a race in every single season he competed.
Yeah,
that's the stat I always liked. And then this big, huge dry patch. But yeah, claimed the victory at the British Grand Prix, of which I was attending, which was, I mean, I have been so lucky to attend quite a few Grand Prix over the years. Some of them disasters. But I've attended a few gems. And there was just something in the air that weekend. I just it all felt a bit special. The weather was all over the place. So I thought this will be good. We were coming hot off the back of Norris and Verstappen's clash in Austria. Mercedes, obviously, Russell had won that race and they sort of looked quick-ish. Lewis was
still behind though, mate. That Merc was still behind the other two.
Far behind.
Yeah, 12 seconds or something. Yeah. It was far.
So, I don't know, but it just, there was hype. And then qualifying set up this kind of amazing grid and I was like, oh my God, here we go. And we were speaking about it on WhatsApp. There was just like could he do it? Could Lewis do it? And we've admitted a million times over, over one lap, Russell definitely has the upper hand over Lewis. And so he should, as the man 10 years younger or whatever it must
15,
be.
Mate.
Outrageous. I mean, he should be quicker over one lap. But we've seen it again and again and again over a race duration. Lewis somehow seems to find a way to claw that back, sometimes passing George or at least closing up to him. So, first and second on the grid, you just had this sense of he could do it.
Well, the stat I like, don't you? Which is Russell's out-qualified Lewis 9-2. There's a point difference in the championship. So that tells you the difference in race pace. Lewis often, even though Russell starts ahead of him, he often finishes ahead of him in the race.
Or at least closes up. If it's like Russell's qualified 4th and Lewis is qualified 8th, they'll finish 5th and 6th.
Correct.
Yeah. And then this absolutely unbelievable race unfolded. I think it was high drama, high excitement. It didn't really matter who you were supporting because everyone put in a performance apart from Ferrari and Perez. But up at the front, Norris,
they were all
Piastri.
right at the start though, mate. Leclerc launched some people at the start and got up to 6th.
And then Ferrari went, nope.
Yeah, literally.
Back to the back for you. Well, thanks, guys.
But Sainz was quick towards the end as well. He was coming towards the end. So
yeah, I think they got it right-ish. But still, mate, I mean, where did he finish in the end? 5th?
5th. Yeah.
So, come on. But I'm talking about the top 5. So the 2 McLarens, the 2 Mercedes and Verstappen really put in a shift, didn't they?
Yeah.
And delivered as a result. And actually, until it became clear that Lewis could win, I was open for anyone taking the victory because they'd all driven so well in such difficult conditions. I was a bit like, it would just be amazing. Whatever happens here, it happens. But I wanted Lewis to claim it because of a million reasons, and obviously being a Hamilton fan, but being there.
Yeah.
So I got overly emotional.
Didn't cry like it. I mean, there were so many people crying.
So many people crying.
I mean, him. I mean,
yeah, he cried.
It's not
my sister. Text me. I'm crying. Pull yourself together, woman.
But you've never seen that from him. You never, and that's the bit that I really took from the whole episode. You know, forget about the racing and how good he is. We already know all that. But that's the bit that I really took, how much he suffered over them last 2 years, and he's dragged himself up from a barrel, because it's all about when you're always winning, mate, and then you're not, and you're older, doubt does come into your mind. Doubt comes into my mind. It comes into big business people's. It just comes in. But the difference between certain people is that they'll turn that into a positive, and they'll drag theirself back up, and that's what Lewis, and that's the most impressive thing that I've took from it.
100%. For me, the fascination about it is the athlete psyche, because you know, I think you've hit the nail on the head. Like, the race was the race. I would claim that he went and won it. Some people say, well, McLaren lost it through strategy, but I think if you look sector times, tyre management, when Lewis chose to make his moves on Russell, or how he tried to manage the gap between Norris and Verstappen, I do think it was a proper through and through Lewis victory of old.
Russell was in the same car, and I know he had a problem, but even when he did have a problem, before he had the problem, he wouldn't have run the race, mate.
Well, yes and no. I mean, I agree, but that's what I mean. I think if you look at what was going on at the beginning, it looked like Lewis was perfectly gapping Russell. It was a solid 1.5 second with great management. He saw the rain coming, thought, right, they're going to have to double stack us. I don't want to be second here. I've got to get past Russell, put the foot down, took the position. So that set him up perfectly for the double stacking. And then when it got to the end and we saw with the tyres he knew they would be coming at him essentially, he realised that essentially if he held back his tyres, let Lando be relatively close to him whilst Max caught up, the minute Max got close and started to overtake Lando, Lewis just put his head down, qualifying laps to the end. I was texting saying it's qualifying laps.
Yeah, and as well, by the way, like, I know maybe the McLaren's not maybe quite as kind on soft as the Mercedes, but they were on the same tyre, and Lewis drove off from Lando.
Eventually.
Eventually.
He was managing it, because he
managed his tyres. That's what I'm saying. He didn't drive off first because he was managing his tyres. And Lando was pushing. But I think over the course of the weekend, the McLaren was the fastest car over the weekend.
Yeah,
for sure.
For sure. And they set their car up for the conditions of the race, which, was right. But yeah, anyway, long story short, Lewis won it. But you're right. Everything he said, the sort of emotional release, I think that's where it's so fascinating, because I think he finally opened up and really revealed to everyone how much 2021 affected him.
Yeah.
That loss of that championship in the way that he lost
and
it.
Still is. Or
and,
still
and
was.
Sure. Still was affecting him, maybe still is affecting him. I think, he never really admitted how much of a negative that was.
No.
There have been a few interviews where he said, I'm going to get that championship back, or I'm here to get that championship, whatever. But yeah, he hasn't revealed that. And finally, he sort of said, look, it was so difficult to really pick myself back up and go again. And if you look back now at 2022, it so makes sense to why that was such an off year, because he was just like, what is the point in this? Like, why am I getting in the car?
Yeah.
And then obviously 2023, he found himself back in some performance, but couldn't find that victory. And you're right, doubt creeps in. There's a lot of people sort of starting to question things. He would be looking at it going, maybe I am just over it. Maybe I have lost it. Maybe that's my moment
what he
gone.
said.
Yeah. So fascinating to see and to witness. Let's see what the rest of the year has to hold. So what I was going to say is I got a bit emotional, but I didn't cry. But I actively chose to not film it, photograph it.
Good.
I wanted to be in the moment because I recognised that might be the last Hamilton victory. I was there at Saudi Arabia for his previous victory, but at that time we never would have thought or fathomed that could have been his last one up until now. So I didn't really make the moment of it. I was just like, okay, there we go, it's another Lewis victory is what we expect. So I really just wanted to be there, witness it, hear the crowd, be in that moment, just in case we never see another Lewis Hamilton victory.
Yeah. And let's, for the sake of F1, whether you're a Lewis fan or not, let's hope for the sake of F1 that he sticks around and he's got a car, because I genuinely believe, and this was proof at the weekend, that he is the only one that can battle Max. I don't think the rest of them, I just don't think over a season the rest of them are good enough to battle Max. I think Lewis is the only one.
Well, I think it's experience, isn't it? It's experience. I think people could catch up, but I think where Lewis's experience gives him that edge or allows him to battle with Max's raw talent is the thinking man's game. That's where Lewis has evolved into this all-round unbelievable, greatest of all time, or one of the greatest of all time, is that thought of that strategy, that time management of when to overtake, when to push, what moments ahead. He's thinking through the race whilst driving the race, where it seems like a lot of the other guys, Russells, Norrises, it's hard to say, but they're driving from the, what's called the seat of their pants. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's all sort of, so Alonso, Hamilton, those old school races, those long term, and that's just experience.
They're
mate.
ahead, yeah.
And I think, you see it if Norris is going to race consistently at the front now, Russell too, and they start building that experience, then they'll start to learn these things too.
But not now. That's what I'm saying. This ain't going to happen right now. We still need Lewis for another couple of years until maybe they do get that, But from what I've seen, I don't think there's anyone else on the grid that will be able to.
I think Leclerc had it, but I'm not convinced right now. Yeah. I do think in early 2022, Leclerc showed signs of being able to outsmart Verstappen at his own game, and think through the strategy and play it. But I just don't. I don't see it there right now. Yeah. It's not to say it's gone. I think Sainz is a very calculated driver, but I'm not sure in the heat of battle and over a season he could triumph. I think Lando still needs to prove, that thinking man's game. And Russell, unfortunately, we've seen time and time again when he's there. I mean, he didn't manage that race well. I know he had the problem, but he didn't manage that race well because Lewis was past him.
Gone.
So, anyway, very exciting, a pretty crazy moment and pretty special. I saw a lot of funny memes about people, Lewis Hamilton on Google right now, how to unsign a contract. What is the Italian for cancel contract? As he's standing at the top step and, Leclerc signs away down the order. But I went to the Grand Prix in a 750S.
I saw that. We didn't actually speak about it much.
We didn't speak at all about it. I spent a week with the car. Did 850 miles in it.
Well done, mate.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Where did you go, mate?
Great question. So I picked up the car early on in the week and I actually had to go up to Wakefield for a bit of filming.
Right.
For the television project, actually. Look at me. So that was easily 450 odd miles, maybe 500 miles there and back. And then Silverstone back and forth across the weekend. Just I don't know, just poodling around, just doing bits. But it was a good way to kind of slightly get to grips with that car because I drove it, mate. I drove it in every scenario. I drove it here, in and around town. Obviously, a long motorway slog. That M1 is all average camera zones now.
I know.
For like the 250 miles, I reckon 200 miles of it was average camera, 50 miles an hour.
And they're just digging it all up.
Yeah, it's insane. It's actually insane. So that was boring and it was wet. But then I had to do some filming for the show and I did some real aggressive driving. Great driving.
Like dry or the wet?
Dry. At this point it was dry.
Right.
Mate,
Lovely.
Cracked on.
Good boy.
And then over the weekend I had a chance to do a little bit more spirited driving. Anyway, I did live with the car, mate. Bloody fantastic.
Loved it.
Yeah, loved it. I mean, I think the 720S,
Would you buy one?
Hold on. Don't skip ahead. One of the 720S's biggest plus points was its breadth of abilities, right?
Yeah.
That, you literally, it was very comfortable, very accessible. Visibility was fantastic.
Yeah.
Use it in all situations, blah, blah. And that has been retained with the 750.
Right.
I thought the 750 was going to be a bit more LT-ish.
Okay.
Because that was what, I remember the press release was all like, it's got loads of components from it, and we love the LT. The bits that I picked up on, really aggressive rear wing.
Okay.
The aero wing that you can pop up, and it's massive, and the aero brake.
Yep.
And that is wild.
Yep.
The gear shifts a little bit more aggressive, the gearbox a little bit quicker.
Than a 720S?
I think so.
Yeah.
You rattle through the gears a bit quicker, they bang and pop, and lots of backs out the throttle. So the exhaust
bit more like an LT then.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Sounds really good. But otherwise, it's just as usable, if not in the slower, comfier modes, even more usable. Like it's like super comfy. In fact, like the ride, I still don't understand how McLaren do that ride. The ride is unbelievable.
Yeah, but the ride's always been good in all of them, mate.
Yeah.
Even from the start.
Yeah.
So they've always done that well.
Their trick suspension is how that
Yeah. They've always done that well. But in terms of practicality in that, I mean, apart from the Lambos, like most supercars are practical now, right?
Absolutely. But I think they set the bar. I think people responded to the usability of a McLaren.
But back then, then we've always said that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and the still got a bit of a laggy engine. Is it,
mate? I mean,
low
yes
power.
And no. I mean, yes, if you're hypercritical, but not. I wouldn't say in a negative way.
Not
as in
not like a 720S, because 720S is laggy, mate.
I wouldn't say it's laggy. I would say you feel the boost. You definitely feel the boost.
More linear.
But at no point was I like, come on.
Okay.
Important to note, this was not a dynamic test drive.
Okay.
I had the car for a week because I was doing a lot of McLaren-based activity. It made sense to be in a McLaren, and I wanted to use the car. I did not ever drive it thinking, okay, how is this actually performing really dynamically on a tight road? Because I was in the UK.
Okay.
But at no point did I think, come on.
Okay.
All I noticed is, in the wet, you can really play with that torque curve.
Okay.
That's how you get the characteristic of the car.
All right.
So that lag is still there because you feel the boost.
Because you never really had that, I don't think, with 720 and our old cars, 570 and 540. Sure. There was only really like exciting when they were going way too fast. You know, you have to really get them up and really drive them for you to think, bloody hell, this is a good car, you know. So
I like this at any speeds in any occasion. It's quite noisy on the road in the in the cabin on a motorway drive. It's quite noisy in there.
What tyres?
Standard P0s, not even Corsas, not Trofeos, they're standard P0s.
But good for UK.
Fucking fantastic,
for UK,
especially with the weather we had.
Yeah.
It just, it just really performed. Like it just performed, and they've taken the Artura tech, so you've got the driving modes at your fingertips on the dash binnacle. Everything's kind of where you want to be. There's now just a simple touch button for the lift.
Does it all work properly?
All made sense. All worked. Everything worked.
Not delayed when you start pressing buttons?
No, not particularly delayed. Right. There's a big central home button for the infotainment screen. And that literally makes it easy to hit Apple CarPlay, which was all functional fine, or radio, boom, and that's all I touched.
Okay.
I think I maybe changed the aircon like once or twice.
All done through that big screen.
All done through that screen. And so you just press the home button. So that was all fine. I didn't notice any issues with infotainment. There was seatbelt bonging, a little bit of seatbelt bonging whenever I had, even if I had a jacket on the passenger belt. Bong, 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 put your seatbelt on. That was a little annoying. A couple of rattles, which worried me a bit, just a little bit of interior quality control. That was like, if I'd bought this car, I'd be a bit annoyed because it had 800 miles on the clock when I picked it up.
Okay.
And, especially when there's a engine cover behind you on the sort of the luggage shelf. And that, I don't know. Anyway, so just a couple of rattles that I mentioned to McLaren. I said, you need to have a look at these rattles. But mate, I used it as, I never thought for any seconds, got to be careful here. Like we had moments where we were filming where I was opening the door, closing the door, opening the door, closing the door, starting the engine, stopping the engine, starting the engine, stopping the engine, rev, launch, like thrashed the thing.
Okay.
850 miles, fantastic.
Yeah, okay, fair.
Really, really good. But you asked me the question, would I buy one? No.
Okay.
And that, you know what? The only reason I will get over but not buying one, or, you know what I mean? I kind of have to put my money where my mouth is, or McLaren have to help me out, is to have the ownership experience. Because still to this day, my experience of McLaren ownership wasn't positive enough. The after sales, getting the car booked in for sale, all of that stuff was tough, and resale value. I don't think we can completely knock depreciation because I think most
all cars depreciate, but some just more than others. But that's never changed, mate.
I think it's harsh to be like, I'm not going to buy it because it's going to lose a ton of money. It's the resale, how easy or hard it is to resell. The after sales control, after sales, what's called quality of the after sales experience. After sales experience, let's say. So I would like to know what that's like now. But I'm not in the price point. The Artura is the car for me, isn't it? I'm not a 750
no
customer. It's way too much money for me. So, but I would have the 750 over the Artura if it was price parity.
Okay.
Sounds way better. I think it was more enjoyable to drive in every scenario.
But it probably will be 150, mate, in 4 years' time or something.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
720Ss are 100 grand now. A little bit more, but
a little bit more, 120. No, I mean, mate, like really, really good.
Yeah.
Really, really good. Very exciting. I'm going to get a Spider later in the year to do a proper dynamic test. Go somewhere warm, good roads. Would you like it? I think you would like it.
Okay.
I think the LT would be the one for you.
Yeah.
That's your car.
It's like literally one of the best cars I've ever driven.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that car.
So I think you'd feel the 750. You'd be like, I want the LT
I want a bit
part.
more, yeah.
But yeah, so my Artura video should hopefully finally come out this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm hopefully re-driving the car at Goodwood, probably in the rain, and doing some bits to kind of complement the piece I did in the south of France. And obviously I now have the experience of driving the 750. So I think that's the Artura's biggest problem, if I'm honest.
Okay.
Is the 750.
But double the money, mate.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess you could say the same for 296 and SF90. You know what I mean? Like, you know, there's always a
big
car.
brother, yeah.
But I mentioned Goodwood. You may be listening to this on the way to Goodwood.
Yeah.
Or maybe on the way home, because by the time this comes out, Goodwood will have started.
Yeah. Or finished.
Or finished. Depending on what time you listen
Depending where you are.
Yeah, maybe you're just too busy to check this out and you were listening to it the week after. In case you've been living on the moon, Goodwood Festival of Speed, I would say one of the biggest automotive events in the world.
Yeah, isn't it? It's got to be, isn't it? Now.
Our audience is roughly 45% British.
Yep.
So most of you know what it's talking about, but just in case you don't.
I think everyone knows what Goodwood is.
Everyone knows. Right?
Yeah.
So I put up a list of the hottest new cars at the 2024 Goodwood Festival of Speed. What we could be excited about seeing. So if you're on your way there and you're listening to this now going, I wonder what we could see at Goodwood, we're going to give you a little preview.
You're not going to put it on telly?
That would be helpful for you, wouldn't it? Where's that cable?
Stop.
2 seconds.
He's going to stop walking around again. He's made a proper boo-boo. Normally we'll have for audio listeners, we'll normally have like a TV in front of us and Sam projects what we're going to half talk about. He never really tells me what's going on, but that's the element of surprise. But I
forgot to set the TV up.
He forgot to set the TV up, basically.
Okay, so give us 2 seconds. Now Tony can know the cars, because you don't know about any of this stuff.
Very rookie, mate.
I would have said to you, and now the Alfa Romeo something, and you've gone, what is that?
Yeah, so exactly.
Now you can at least look at some pictures with me. Okay, so let's kickstart, and I think we will kickstart with Alfa Romeo, because finally in the flesh we're going to have the chance to see the 33 Stradale, which is that car that was based on an MC20.
I was going to say that is literally an MC20.
Yeah,
right?
it's rebodied MC20 to celebrate an old historic Alfa Romeo from the 60s, I guess.
I hope it don't drive like an MC20.
Yeah, we didn't like that car, didn't we?
Not really, no.
It's fine, but it's just like, what are they doing price-wise these days?
Well, probably 130 now. Are they 140, I would have thought? That's a guess, but I bet I'm not far off. Being it's my job.
I love it when you say that and then you are really far off.
No, it's not a thing, mate.
You want to know the cheapest car or you want to know the average price?
Just tell me the cheapest car.
Okay. By the way, have you noticed that Auto Trader have changed the layout of their website?
Yeah, they keep doing it. Yeah,
oh, mate, you're well off.
Really?
150 grand.
Wow.
Yeah, 4,000 mile, 150 grand is
That's the cheapest car?
Yep.
Way too expensive.
Through an approved used, 159.
Hey, this is a question for you then.
Go on then.
One of them or an Artura?
Ooh. I think an Artura.
Me too.
I think an Artura.
1,000,000%.
I just hate that engine, that Nettuno engine.
I just didn't like the car.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Yeah, oh no. And yeah, Artura hands down.
Yeah.
Artura hands down. Because that's the kind of money, isn't it?
It's basically the same.
What's the Gran Turismo going? I love that Gran Turismo.
Paul Wallace is in that one of them Maseratis today.
Is he?
Sent me a picture this morning, yeah.
Mate, they're so good. I want to see what he thinks.
No, not a Turismo. He's in an MC20.
Oh, he's an MC20?
Yeah. So that won't go back in one piece.
So Gran Turismos are down to 125.
For a new one? Oh, what's happened there?
Because you know when I drove one in New York and I went mental, saying I want one. I actually got hold of a UK dealer, being like, I want a car. I was like, come on, cut me a deal. Like, help me out here. You're not going to be selling these things, let's face it. get me in a car. And they didn't like that. So they were like, no. And so everyone said, just wait. So I think the Trofeo is the one you want because it's got the limited slip diff and the few. It's the one you want, but they do a Modena, which is less.
Are they V6 or V8 now?
They're V6s.
Okay,
it's fine. The same as like it's the Natuno.
Okay.
This car is still for sale. Oh, I'm so happy. Maybe I should go and buy one of these things. I don't have the money. Cheapest Trofeo on the market, 135 grand. That's been for sale since I went to New York way months ago.
Yeah.
And listed at the top, a Modena, retail price 146 grand, advertised with a discount of 21 grand for 125.
Right.
I mean, that is just, no one's buying them. You should have. I'm going to go kick them in the balls.
Well, you just said you don't want one.
I do really want one. I don't want to pay that money.
Afford it.
I can't afford it, no.
No.
But what car? Anyway, sorry, we got distracted. What were we talking about? Goodwood. So, stick with us, people.
Did you see last week, by the way, just very briefly, did you see last week people going in on me saying that Sam's car hasn't got a V8, it's got a V6 in it? Did you see that in the comments last week?
My Panamera?
Yeah. Because I kept referencing V8 in your... But that's literally, mate, because I thought it was... Because it's got that sport design kit. I genuinely...
It was a GTS?
Yeah.
But you know they didn't do a hybrid GTS?
No, but I just forgot. I literally just... I thought it was... Because it looks like a GTS.
Yeah.
So I just...
It does. Looks sick.
Yeah, I thought it was a GTS.
Yeah, fair.
So that's why I kept referencing V8.
Oh, I actually missed that entirely. I didn't even hear. When were we talking about my house?
We was talking about your car and I kept saying your car's got a V8 in it. Like that.
And I just went, all right.
Yeah.
I didn't even pick up on it.
Yeah. But anyway, I got ruined in the comments. So
yeah, it's normal.
Sorry, everyone. I made a mistake. It's the first one I've ever made. So write that down. I won't make another. Promise.
Until next week. Now, I'm coming round to this car. Yeah, I'm coming round. This is the Alfa Romeo Junior. But you say you want one.
Yes.
So, listen. Entry-level juniors.
Yeah.
The Veloce. It put out 154 horsepower. Well, the Veloce is 278. Petrol electric with 134 horsepower. I think it's kind of cool. Like, what does this go up against? Like,
How much is
really good looking.
How much is it?
Let's have a little look. I think it's really good looking.
What they're going to do? A 2-litre, 280 horsepower?
I think it's an X1 rival, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's like an 135.
Here we go.
Or an RS Q3, something like that.
I think so. Yeah. So the Junior Veloce is the one that's up our street. The 280 CV.
It's very pretty, that car, mate.
Very good looking, isn't it?
What about inside?
What do you think it shares its platform with? What do we think it shares?
No, some pile of shit. I don't know. Mate, it'll be some. I mean, but it looks beautiful.
It looks brilliant, doesn't it? Okay, let me bring up a.
How much is it?
I'm trying to find out.
Quick, mate.
Okay,
I'm going to ring them up.
This is the. Here we go. It's an impressive EV.
Oh no, I'm not interested.
No, but there is a petrol version.
Oh,
I'm sure.
I'm sure.
I'm sure. Mate, I'm very confused.
Come on, mate, please.
I love it when we don't do research.
Oh, mate, that's beautiful. Look here at the back.
It is very good looking, isn't it?
I mean, they do make pretty cars, but...
Hold on a sec, but is it electric?
No, please. That's it.
100% electric.
All the while? No petrol engine?
I think it's all electric, bro.
Oh, I'm so angry, mate.
Hold on. Junior Electrica. Alfa finally goes electric with the Junior.
All electric?
All electric.
Oh, what a shame.
Beautiful, though, isn't it?
Oh, I'm out. Very pretty. I'm going to go as far as say that's the best looking little SUV on the market.
That is one of the best looking. Yeah, I'm with you. There's your interior for you.
This is the problem.
Bit weak on the interior, isn't it?
Really bad.
Yeah.
I mean, screens, okay, but look at the rest of it.
That's where Alfa always get it wrong. They
get it wrong. Seats are beautiful.
The design is top freaking notch.
Yeah.
But you're right. Why couldn't they have put on just put a little 1.4 litre engine in there or something like that? God, it's good looking.
Yeah.
Looks like a Kia from the back, but we'll forgive it for that.
What's wrong with the new Kias from the back? They're nice, mate.
Yeah, but you don't want your Alfa Romeo to look like a Kia, do you? Anyway, well, we'll hear that.
We're out.
Whistle past us. And now look, here you go. There's also a 1.2 litre petrol electric.
Yeah, that's all right.
There we go, the 134 horsepower.
That's not enough. They must be doing a hot version, surely, at some point. I'll wait for that.
Okay.
They'll do a hot one. Oh, look at that.
The Alpine A290. This is the Ioniq 5N rival.
Oh, is it?
The Alpine version of the Renault 5, the new electric Renault 5.
Electric?
Yeah, all electric. But this is for me, this is cool.
Yeah.
I think this is cool. It looks great, right?
Yeah.
Bigger than you'd think, but it's
if it's like an Ioniq 5, it's bloody massive.
I don't think it's as big as an Ioniq 5, but it's wild. The Alpine hydrogen hypercar thing.
Right, not interested.
No, I'm interested by that, mate, because that's interesting tech.
All right.
To have a hydrogen hypercar, I think it's interesting tech. It's very strange sort of power ratio, but no, I think this is cool, mate. This is for us talking about alternative ways to fuel cars. That's interesting.
Okay.
It's a concept. It's a
Let's get a bit more information about it when you're there, then we'll have a chat.
Okay. Aston Martin Valiant.
It looks nice.
It's the Alonso treated Valeur.
Yeah. Is that the V12 manual that I slagged off last week? Oh, I'm not interested now. I like this.
New Bentley Continental GT.
Yeah.
That'll be right up your street, won't it?
Yeah, that'd do me, yeah.
The BMW i5 Flow Not Stocana. It's a new art car.
So
Actually kind of cool.
you can't buy it.
I don't think so.
All right. What's next?
Oh, it's BMW's future e-ink paint technology.
Right.
It's capable of shifting the shade of body panels at a moment's notice, displaying a different colour or message.
Nice.
Why do you need that, though?
Well, you don't, do you?
No.
It's just marketing, isn't it?
It's marketing.
Yeah.
Clever.
Yeah. Genius.
1 Series Facelift.
Yeah.
What do you think of this? We never spoke about this when this came out.
No, that'd be a good car, that.
It'd be a great car, of course, but what do you think of the styling?
It's all right, mate. Nice and safe. I think it's all right.
I quite like it.
Yeah, it's all right.
And then you can see the new 135i. I think that'll be cool.
Yep.
I'm all for that.
Well, it'll look like my M3 inside, won't it? Just with the big screens.
Yeah,
it's all, they just bolt it in.
Sharing parts.
Yeah. The X135's about out now as well.
Yeah, I've seen a few of them knocking around, actually. Yeah, pretty hilarious. I've seen quite a few X2s knocking around.
Yeah.
Not as good looking in the flesh, that car, I don't think.
Have you seen the iX2? Have you seen any of them?
Yeah.
Bloody hell, that's a good looking little car.
Do you think so? I don't love it as much as I thought I was going to.
No, I quite like it.
It's a smaller and boxier in real life, I think.
Got some presence though on the road. Saw one on the road.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
M2, new M2 up. Oh, this is a facelift.
It's a bloody LCI. Yeah.
M3 touring update too.
Yeah.
M4 CS. No, it's all boring. The new M5.
Oh, that'll be there.
I'll be interested to see and hear that. I mean, it'll sound crap. But.
Yeah. There's an M3 touring CS coming as well at some point.
Ah, yes. Okay. I don't think that's at Goodwood though, is it?
No.
I
might change my car for that.
Yeah.
I would. I'd love that. I would.
That'd be right up your street.
Yeah, do me that.
New M5 will be cool to see for sure. That Skytop concept, that Z8 concept thing that we saw from earlier in the year. Lots of BMW concept cars. Oh, the new X3. I'm going straight to have a look at that.
It looks like an X5 now.
Yeah,
Massive.
One of those things that I think we're going to get used to the looks.
No, it'll be fine, mate.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
I want to go have a sniff around that for sure because lots of you will know I've had 2 generations of the X3. I've gone Panamera now, but that could be a one day family car for sure. I think it looks cool.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about the BYD Seal because I don't know anything about it.
All right. Looks like a Skoda.
Apart from BYD sponsoring the Euros, I mean...
Well, they got some money.
Callum,
what's that, mate?
Yeah. You know Ian Callum?
What?
Do you know who Ian Callum is?
No.
Legendary, I would call him. Designer. Amongst many of his claims to fame.
Yeah.
Jaguar F-Type.
Did he?
Yeah, so he's now stepped away from Jag. I think before that, was he at Aston Martin? I feel like he probably was. Anyway, he's a really, really famous car designer. He's got his own company called Callum, and they sort of build these one-off projects.
Funny looking thing, isn't it?
So yeah, the first bespoke production car to come from former Jaguar designer Ian Callum's new eponymous outfit. Eponymous? Is that the way you pronounce eponymous? You're the wrong person to ask.
I think he did do something at Aston Martin. I think I vaguely remember now.
Electric aerial nomad rival. I mean...
Looks like a buggy.
Yeah. I'm not like...
Is that going to go up the hill?
Maybe, or on the rally stage. Like, I don't think I really care about that.
Didn't you?
No.
All right.
I like really appreciating Callum, but I'm like, that's just a bit weird.
All right, well...
Sorry. Who's buying that, mate?
Maybe he peaked at the Jag.
I don't think he peaked. I'm sure he's got
can
more.
all have a bad
but
day,
I'm a bit
mate.
like...
We all have our off days. Can you imagine if you designed a car? You design cars like that every day.
Mate, disaster. Oh, you know, the best thing that happened in my life, talking about me and cars.
Yeah?
Yes, I picked up my daughter from nursery. She got in the car, she went, Papa's Porsche.
Did she?
And I was like, oh my God, life is
perfect.
complete.
Yeah.
Papa's Porsche. And I made her say it about 50 million times.
Did you?
Yeah. I was like, what is it? What is it? Papa's Porsche.
Poor kid.
Porsche, Papa. So what about the Ferrari? She can't say it. She goes, Rari.
Rari. That's
It's
what they do.
Rari.
Yeah. Oh, that's going up.
SF90 XX Spider.
Yeah.
I tell you what, when I went to the factory and I saw these knocking around, they do look wild, mate.
Loads of presents, right?
Loads of presents, and nothing like an SF90. I kept assuming they were like 296 GT3 cars.
Yeah.
You know, and then someone was like, no, it's this. And I was like, oh, wow, yeah, of course. They are full on.
Yeah. But it should be, mate, for nearly double the money of an SF90.
Course, and it's an XX. You know? I'll be super intrigued to see how they sound.
Yeah.
Because I think probably...
I'd love to have a go in one of them.
I think you would, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You love the SF90.
Yeah, but I mean, a tightened, faster version of that.
I wonder how that would happen, because that's a big invite, isn't it? Because if you've bought that car...
Fiorano, that is.
Yeah, but that's not coming to Ferrari, I'll call him.
Do you know, I wouldn't even care if I could sit in the passenger seat and go around one of the Fiorano drivers in that car.
Yeah, at Ferrari,
Yeah, because I'd know how it drove. I'd like to just go around and just see what it's capable of.
But, okay, so if a viewer said, I've got a car, would you like to come and drive it?
Yes, please.
But where, and like, if somebody said, for example, our SF90 test drive.
No, thank you.
Yeah. Tight, twisty, bumpy, wet UK roads.
Yeah.
Not much point, right?
Absolutely no point.
So that's the thing. You say yes, please, but it does all slightly depend. Because actually,
let's go to Silverstone.
Yeah, you do want Ferrari to say, come and drive it at Fiorano.
Yeah.
Which I just don't think.
Well, why would they, mate?
I did get a very nice invite from Ferrari the other day.
Did you?
For later in the year.
For what?
I can't say. But
+1?
No.
Oh.
But just guess. Like,
guess?
Yeah, like, I'm not going to...
Well, no, because you can't say. So if I guess, you're not going to tell me anyway.
Okay.
Complete waste, you know what I mean? Complete waste of time.
It's very exciting.
Right.
This I'm really intrigued to see, the Ford Mustang GTD. This is Ford's attempt to build a GT3/3RS rival with a Mustang.
It's a 3RS rival.
That's what they claim.
And it's supposed to be bloody fast as well,
It's supposed to be amazing. I mean, it's literally a race car for the road. It's Jim Farley, isn't it? Ford CEO.
Yeah.
Passion project. Wanted a race car. Thought, why can't we do it? I don't think you're buying this. You know, if you want the ultimate
money or something.
No, 315 grand or something like
that. Sorry?
315 grand or something.
So it's nearly 100 grand more than a GT3 RS?
Yeah.
But it won't be as good as a GT3 RS?
No, but this is what I was trying to come on to say. I don't, like, if you're really someone who's going to attack the track, this is an alternate. This is like, I hate Porsches. Or I can't get the alternative. Slot. Yeah, it's like a real... Because it's going to be very different to drive.
Well, it's a front engine. That'd be more like a Black Series, mate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, like, I just think it's cool. I think it's cool that Ford have done it. I'm intrigued by it. Will it be dynamically, like, super good, or will it be, like, good and fun? Like, do you know what I mean? I want to know what it's going to be like dynamically.
I'd have a Black Series over that.
Yeah, of course. I don't think I would have that. Like, to buy, you're working your way through 3RS, Black Series... It's whatever, Fiorano, Huracan
LT.
STOs, LTs. Like,
Pista.
Before you get to this, you're working your way through a lot of cars, but I think it's still cool. I still appreciate it. I applaud it. Yeah. I would love to have a go.
Yeah.
So I'm intrigued to see. I want to see what it sounds like. Yeah, and you'll be able to tell, you know, that what's the two quick right-handers at the hill climb. You know, they leave the start line. You got a bit of a dab on the brakes, fast right, and then you do the really fast right onto that main straight in front of the house. That second right hand, you can tell if these cars are properly sorted. How flat they are, how quick they go, how much they're planted into the ground. So that's why I'm interested to see that car.
Okay. And how loud it is, because it's probably got a big V8 in it.
Big old V8, 800 horsepower V8.
Oh, wow.
That'd be wild. Now, these are cool. So, full disclosure, I'm working with Genesis at Festival of Speed.
Yeah.
And they sent me over the details of these. And I actually really like this. So this is their M department AMG RS. It's called Magma.
Got an engine in it?
Yeah. So I mean, there's a variety. So Magma is the performance branch, the performance thing for Genesis. Yeah. So it's going to be all, you know, performance focused. So they've obviously got some electric variants. They've got some hybrid variants. They've got some pure performance variants.
Looks like an Nissan Duke.
Yeah, so that's their the GV60, which we're looking at, which is nice. You're like, it does look
What's
a bit
that based
dukey,
on?
but what, the GV60?
Yeah.
I don't know. Isn't Genesis standalone stuff? Do they share platforms? I think so. I mean, I don't think they share anything. They're Korean, aren't they? So it would be, let's see, Genesis GV60. Does it share a platform?
It wouldn't surprise me if it was one of the Jap platforms in some way, shape, or form?
It's the Ioniq 5N.
Yeah, okay.
So it's the Hyundai EGMP, and related is the Ioniq 5, the Ioniq 6, the Kia EV6, and the Kia EV9.
And it's electric, and they're going to put an engine in.
No. So you're getting a little bit confused here. Genesis obviously do various models.
Yeah.
This is just one particular model that they're showing us right now. That's the GV60.
So that's an
they
electric
do saloons
car.
and SUVs. Yeah, the GV60 is an electric one.
Right.
Magma, as I say, is the BMW M, the Mercedes AMG.
Okay.
So there's a range of Magma
I understand.
products. But I think at the moment, a lot of it's conceptual. They're saying, like, this is what we want to do. This is what our new performance avenue is going to be. And so there's going to be a variety of them.
So that car on the screen there has not got an engine.
That car right there is an electric Ioniq 5N rival.
Right. At the weekend, can you ask them to put an engine in?
Well, I will show you after this some of the other cars which are going to have engines in them that are part of this Magma range.
Okay.
And I think you're going to go, ooh, 'cause they look great. So that's cool. So I'm excited to see that. And by the way, if you're going, I will be on the Genesis stand. Most of Thursday and Friday.
Bit of a chat.
Yeah, doing a bit of
meet and greet.
I'm actually doing, don't get upset, I'm hosting podcasts for Genesis.
Without me?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Sorry about that, mate.
Why?
Yeah. No, but it's not behind the glass.
Oh.
It's for Genesis. I'm the Genesis presenter.
Then. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. You don't need me.
You haven't been cut out, don't
we? No.
This is the Hongqi E-HS9, which looks to me like a Chinese Cullinan.
Or X7.
Chinese brand Hongqi. Sorry, I probably shouldn't have done that accent, should I? That was probably a bit un-2024.
Yeah. Cut it out.
Apologies, people. I'm still learning. We'll display this imposing SUV alongside its smaller stablemates, the EHV and the EHSV, as it looks to build greater brand awareness in Europe.
Yeah.
I mean, cool. Sure, let's move on. Lotus Emeya, another car that Lotus are determined not to sell.
Yeah.
That's supposedly a Taycan rival. I mean...
Should we move on?
Yeah. Avaya X, though.
Really?
Hello. Yeah, Avaya I adore.
Right.
Avaya, I think, is just, mate, unbelievable. Looks-wise, conceptually, like everything about that is brilliant. And this is the Nürburgring Pikes Peak wildness.
I love it.
They're going to go for the record, I think.
Are they?
I know it'll make a non-timed run.
Oh.
Boring. I think that's awesome. Got a bit of a shout here.
Oi.
Ineos Arcane Works.
What's that then?
So this is basically sort of bespoke arm. Let's call it, as far as I understand it, it's like almost like PTS or Atelier, you know. So it's sort of a bespoke limited run, basically. Limited run special.
MSO.
That customers can tweak. So it's a limited run of cars and then customers can tweak certain things so you'll get bespoke versions. And they're unveiling the first bunch at Festival of Speed, so that's cool to see.
Right.
Everyone knows I'm a big fan of the old Grenadier.
Mm-hmm.
What do we make of this? Did you see this get unveiled?
I saw this, yeah.
The Land Rover Defender Octa.
Yeah. Got an M5 engine in it.
Yeah, this is... What is this? Is this a G-Wagon rival? But wasn't that already the V8?
Yeah.
So it's lifted, but it's more powerful, it's more rugged, but it's also more luxurious. What's going on here?
It's broken.
It's a lot of different things happening, isn't it, for all the money?
Yeah. It's a lot of money.
It's all the money, I think. Yeah. But I don't know.
No, I don't want one.
I don't think I want one. No. I'd like to have a go in one, like on a beach in Wales.
Right.
To be like, hey!
Let's go back to Perth and go on that. I mean, that's
and
perfect.
not get stuck. But that's what I mean. Like, it's kind of like, cool. Like, it's if you're like really rich and own a farm in Scotland with 400 acres.
Yeah.
You just don't care. And remember the show The Gentleman? Did you watch that show in the end? Yeah. The drugged up brother would own that.
Oh, perfect.
You know what I mean? It's just like bashing through gates and running over pheasants by mistake.
Yeah. Not by mistake.
Sniffing cocaine off the dashboard.
Yeah.
Or it's a Bond villain's car. But the problem is it's going to end up... Ooh.
Mate, you didn't put your phone on silent.
God, how unprofessional.
It's unlike you.
That's my mum.
Oh.
It's the only person who ever calls me, if I'm honest. It's... But I'd like to have a go.
Okay.
I'd like to have a go.
No, I'm not that bothered.
I think I just have the V8.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Okay. Lanzante are bringing some special Porsche Resto Modi type thing.
Good.
I like what Lanzante do, but...
Not for me.
Do we really care about another Porsche Resto Mod thing?
Nope.
Not sure. Having said that, I will go and see it and freak out about it. JCW Mini John Cooper what?
Yeah. A big good car.
That'll be great, man.
Yep.
Big fans. Oh, yes. RB17 from Red Bull.
Oh,
This is it. It's being unveiled properly. The real deal final customer. Hypercar. So track only. This is what Adrian Newey wanted the Valkyrie to be before Aston Martin and their shareholders went,
Yeah. We need this to work on the road, please.
This is literally no hands being tied behind his back. Everything it should have been.
Oh, that's cool.
So this will be very, very cool.
V10.
Yeah, 1,250 horsepower.
Wow.
As far as I understand it, Cosworth V10, I think.
Red Bull's 20 years in F1.
So it'll be wild. But it will look like a Valkyrie just plus. Do you know what I mean? It's just going to be a Valkyrie plus.
Yeah.
Super cool thing. That was very exciting. The Renault 5 will get its proper debut. Tesla Cybertruck bore off.
Why? What's that for?
It's coming to Europe at one point, isn't it?
What, they better redesign it, mate. The regulations
Europeans won't allow that in.
No, the regulations cut someone's leg off.
You know what I'm really looking forward to bringing to you? It's the Rivian stuff.
Okay.
I think they're doing good jobs over there.
Right.
Side note. Updated GR Yaris.
Yep.
That could be cool.
There's an auto one of them coming.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm a little bit annoyed that, we know this happens, and we saw this car a couple of years ago in America. But why don't they let us have that Corolla, mate?
Hold on a sec. When we bought, didn't you say, what's the point?
Yeah, but I've changed my mind.
Here?
No, but I've changed my mind, mate, because let's have an alternative. Because, wait a minute, because I was thinking about this long and hard the other day, right? Mm-hmm. And actually, apart from the Civic, there's nothing really for that money. So the Corolla would then be a Civic rival because the other cars are like not really Civic rivals. So I'm not changing my mind, but I'm saying there is a place in the UK for it. So can we have it?
People sometimes ask me like, "Oh, what's it like doing a podcast with Tony?"
Unbelievable.
Death.
No.
I regret it every day of my life.
No, mate.
Because I spend weeks arguing with you about point. I go, "You're wrong. Let this listen," and you bloody minded and you're stubborn. You go, "No, pointless." And then 6 months later,
it was 2 years later. Actually,
in you come. Oh, GR Corolla's quite a good car, isn't it?
No, but I never said it weren't a good car. I was saying there probably is a place for it in this country because the only rival is the Civic.
If that Genesis podcast goes well, I'm going to be like, right, time to kick Tony out of this. I don't need the stress. Here's a car up your street, mate. The Yangwang U9. Yangwang.
It says
China
Ferrari.
are making moves. There's a video
Chinese
here.
Ferrari.
The Chinese Ferrari. The Chinese EV making giant BYD's luxury arm will be demonstrating its new hypercar, the U9.
Looks like a Corvette.
The Yangwang. You just can't own a car. What are you driving today? The Yangwang?
Yeah.
That's just not a thing, is it?
Well, not in this country. It's all right in China.
Of course it is. But like, that just doesn't scream. Like in the, when they sit down and do the whole, like, let's think about the name for our new company that's going to be synonymous across the world with performance and luxury. Like, I think Genesis works. I think Hyundai, like that. These are new words to us as Europeans or Westerners, but they somehow fit and work. Kia, like all these things. Yangwang, somebody in that focus group just said, guys, I think Europe, that's not fast luxury.
Yeah, they won't be able to pronounce that.
Well, they can pronounce it. It's not hard to pronounce.
It's way too long.
It doesn't sound like performance and luxury
Chinese
to me. Well, it sounds silly. Like, oh, I'm in the Yangwang cube. You know what I mean? Like, oh, my Yangwang. You know what I mean? It sounds like a little car, like a little hot hatch.
But they're going to sell it in China. They'll sell millions of them, mate.
And let's see what Yangwang
And they're just going to call it
means.
the U9.
Let's see what... Yeah, fine. But there you go, the U9. So Yangwang means something like, look up at the stars. Again, not quite right.
No.
That's, a lot of thought has to go into this stuff when you come up with these names for brands and models. You're right. The U9, okay, cool.
Yeah.
The U9, that kind of makes sense. That sounds like a submarine or something like that.
But what they're going to do is, right, so this is no difference like with a Toyota GR86. People don't say they've got a Toyota GR86. They just say GR86. So they're just going to say, oh, I've got a U9.
Yeah, but still, the Yangwang.
The problem is, mate, like the GR86, someone's going to go, what's a U9? And you're going to go, a Yangwang. And then they're going to finish you off up in the end.
You're not going into a club and saying, hey, you want to come out with my Yangwang?
Yeah, well, do you want to come out in my U9? And they go, what is that, a ship?
Yeah, literally. Submarine. Blow up the world. Well, good luck to you, Yangwang. I hope you do well. We'll watch next week when we're doing the... I'll go, mate, did you see the Yangwang? That's the first car I'm going to go and check out in the thing. The good old Yangwang. Yeah. Anyway, I mean, to be honest, plenty to be excited about there. And that's not even touching on race cars. There's obviously a lot of Formula One cars that are going to be going up. The Ferrari are sending the 499P... What's the customer version of that?
No idea.
499P Evo or whatever it is. You know, the Le Mans car. The customer Le Mans car that's going up. There's a lot of cool stuff that's going to be doing. I think McMurty sending two cars up in Convoy. Did you see the promo shot for that with Max?
Max going to go up one.
Yeah, Max and the other guy. And they were literally like nose to tail and it looked amazing. Yeah. That would make me nervous doing nose to tail in a McMurty because if you suddenly get into aero wake and suddenly lose a bit of that air pushing you down, sucking you into...
But they said it can't happen though, didn't they? It's not really a thing.
No, that's what Max said, that if you hit a curb and you break that suction to the ground, that's the death.
Oh, he did say that, yeah.
So you've got to be careful. You have to drive it in a slightly different way. But yeah, loads to be excited about, I think. We will do some reflections next week on stuff. You are sadly not going, but I will be your live reporter on the ground.
Good.
To check some stuff out. I've also got some other work to do with Porsche. Gonna have a chance to drive some cool Porsches. Not the new GTS. Let's touch on that though quickly. Yeah. You wouldn't have seen it.
No.
All the 992.2 reviews came out this morning.
Oh.
So I think go and check some out this afternoon if you've got time. My biggest takeaways are...
You watched them?
I watched two. I watched Henry Catchpole and Matt Farah.
Okay.
The gearbox, potentially too smooth for our liking.
Okay.
As far as I understand it, they have removed all sense of feel from the gearbox.
Right.
Like just butter smooth. Interestingly, Henry said that he thought the downshifts weren't quite as responsive as he usually thinks they should be.
Still PDK?
Still PDK, of course, but it's got the electric motor in the PDK. But by the way, I don't think Porsche are ever going to not do PDK.
Okay.
It's their own gearbox, so I don't think they're suddenly going to start buying ZFs. But so Matt's whole thing was like, you just don't notice it. Like it's so smooth, you can barely sense that there's a gear change. Yeah. And then Henry just said that, on the track, weirdly the downshifts just weren't quite banging in like he expected. Upshifts were great, super smooth, super quick. Torque apparently just always there, like no matter what gear you take off. There's no, and this is getting a bit technical for me, but it's not belt driven, so there's no actually ignition. So when you start up, there's no, it just turns on.
Why does it do that then?
With using some of the electric powers, electric motors, it just fires into life. Fires up. It doesn't turn over. Okay. You push the button and it's on.
Okay.
The hybrid side of it, apparently barely noticeable. Like, it's not noticeable within driving. Engine sounds a lot better. It's gone back to that beefier 3.6 rather than 3.0. Yeah.
Okay.
So everyone says that the engine sounds better from a driving point of view. It sounds beefier and sounds better. The weight, they said, is it noticeable over like a GT3? Of course. Does it matter? Is it noticeable on the road? In a new car? Not really. But the gist I got of it was the GTS has always been the driver's car with the best options and blah, blah, blah. Because of this new variant and this T-hybrid system, if anything, it's become the best Grand Tourer that they've made. That's the sense I got, because obviously now the rear-wheel drive coupe is the sportiest GTS you can get, but no manual available. But because of everything, it just gave me the sense that it's probably the best all-rounder 911 we've ever had. Great for usability. Whilst Porsche denied it in all their initial claims, there is a lot to do with emissions and economy in there. Even though the figures are the same, they're able to extract more performance and keep the same emissions. That's the trick.
Do you think they've tried to move the GTS away from the normal standard 911 a bit more?
That's the only bit which I haven't said, because I haven't watched anyone yet review the non-hybrid car.
Okay.
Which is what I was quite excited to see. All the videos I saw, unless I finished them too soon, didn't touch on. They only drove the GTS.
Okay.
So So I haven't seen anyone drive the 992 standard yet, the Carrera. It'll be interesting to see. It'll be very interesting to see.
It'll be nice to drive them back to back.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the takeaway I got was like, it's brilliant. It's great. Everything makes sense. It's super impressive. And it's a great road car.
Yeah.
But if you liked the GTS in PDK or manual form because it was the driver's variant and the one that we always said, oh, look, if you actually don't want track performance.
It's the everyday GT3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feels like actually they've softened it a bit.
They've moved away from that.
It just moved it into a bit more of a, it's made it more usable and less like
a GT car.
Yeah, that's what I took away from it without driving it. I'll get a chance to see the car go, but unfortunately not drive it because I forgot to renew my race license. So I had the opportunity to drive up the hill and then I was like, oh no, I don't qualify. Oh. So that's a ball. But yeah, I don't know. He was, I think largely positive.
Yeah.
I didn't get a sense that any of them were like
sounds like a modern car to me, mate. I mean, everything's seamless, everything works.
But I think the interesting point about that being the GTS, though.
Yeah, okay, fair. Because my BMW's like that, mate. The gearbox is like, until you turn it all up.
Yep.
When you turn it all up, it's different and it's more ferocious. But if you just leave it, it's like, doesn't really give you the gear when you really want it. It's a bit slow, a bit cumbersome. It's just a really nice, but when you turn it all off and turn it all up, it's a different car. Maybe the GT, did they do that?
Yeah, so Matt said that he used to always find the previous 992 Carrera S a bit dirgy, that 3 litre. He said it was always just a bit laggy, a bit like it would try and go through the gears too quickly and you'd be a bit like,
yeah.
He said that's all changed. He said in normal mode, it does fly through the gears as quickly as it can, but there's no dirginess. It does feel super responsive. And then obviously once you dial it into Sports and Sport Plus, it's then just super responsive. But the gears, if anything's become quicker.
Okay.
They don't become, a lot of these manufacturers engineer in feel. So in the 296, they actively engineer in a bit of kick.
Yeah.
So it's the speed is there, but they give you a bit of a sensation of a torque kick just so that you know that the gears have changed.
Yeah.
Because that's the involvement, that's the engagement. It sounds like here they've really focused on smoothness and using that electric motor in the PDK to sort of eliminate any torque gap to kind of make it as just instantaneous and smooth, and which I guess is good for everyday usability. But if you enjoy the involvement, if you enjoy the sensation of feeling connected with those driving experiences, will it feel potentially a little bit devoid? Who knows? Maybe. That's what I was getting from the reviews, but I haven't driven the car yet.
Yeah, okay.
I think it will suit the Turbo S sensationally.
Yeah.
But I think the GTS variant maybe needed a bit more edge.
Or maybe they've done that. Maybe they've took the edge out of the GTS and they're going to put it in the Turbo S.
Potentially. We won't know until we know what Carrera S looks like, Turbo looks like, Turbo S looks like. We won't know where that GTS sits. But as I say, as a sort of immediate feedback, I was like, okay, cool.
Fair.
My car's got to go in for some work, by the way.
What's happened?
Did you go in for all your recalls?
Well, if they were pre-March, post-March, no. If they're pre-March, yeah.
I had 3 recalls on my car. Where are the 3 recalls?
I know there was some software updates on it, which they done.
Check and, if necessary, replace front and rear windows.
Yeah.
Replacing oil note sticker, because they now have changed the oil that you put in the... Remember, we got that letter through the advice to change the oil?
Yeah.
And updating the onboard driver's manual. So the last 2 aren't important, but the rear windows, front and rear windows, that must be to do with when my side window cracked.
And my front one.
And then yesterday I was driving back. I went to an awesome event with Tag Heuer. We did a bit of a drive out. I've got look. What do you think of that?
Beautiful, mate.
Nice watch, huh?
Very nice.
That's to celebrate the Le Mans car, the 963. It's quite nice. Anyway, so they put that on my wrist and we went for a nice little drive.
Lovely.
On the way back, there was a bit of a weird, knocking-y loose, it sounded like something was kind of loose on the undercarriage. Not another drive shaft falling off. I was just a couple of times, almost like the exhaust was running on overrun, but then I noticed it at slow speed, but I was like, that sounds a bit weird, so I thought they could have a look at it. 300 quid just to look over the car. Obviously, if it's an issue under warranty, that gets eaten up, but if they look at it and they go, you must have been making it up, 300 quid just to look at it. That's a bit brutal, isn't it?
A little bit. It's probably an hour and a half labour, though. But
it's an hour.
It's £300 an hour now at Porsche.
An hour's diagnosis is £291, including VAT. It's pretty brutal, isn't it?
Yeah, that's way too much money.
Anyway, I think that wraps up this week's episode. So, yeah, next week we'll be reviewing Goodwood and a few other bits and bobs before I head to America.
Why are you going there again?
Dude, I have a huge adventure. I'm going to fill you on about this. Like a massive adventure starting in like 10 days' time. So I'll have to fill you in about it. It's fairly outrageous. I'll reveal a few more details next week, but America, I'm coming for you.
Big style, apparently.
Big. Like a little
go big or
overwhelmed.
go home again?
Tiny bit stressed.
Okay.
Tiny bit stressed.
Flapping?
A little bit.
Okay.
So let's wrap things up so I can go do some work. I hope you've enjoyed this week's episode. If you want to follow Tony between now and next week, it's at Tony Gravelwood Car Sales on most social media platforms. I'm at Seen Through Glass, and this podcast is at Behind the Glass __podcast. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
See ya.